As we wade through this murky era of 2020, COVID-19, and executive orders from our masters, I have noticed that Utahns have forgotten the importance and power of nullification. Nullification is not only legal, but was promoted by our founders. In the Constitution, there are 20 powers delegated to Congress and 6 powers delegated to the president. That's 26 powers delegated to the federal government in the United States Constitution. So if we believe a law to be unconstitutional, what do? Do we beg our legislators to please repeal the law they just passed? Or perhaps we petition the courts? Wait, what if the courts decide in favor of the unconstitutional law? I submit we nullify. So what is nullification? Nullification is saying no. Just say no. What about the Supremacy Clause? Doesn't nullification violate the Supremacy Clause? Let's read the Supremacy Clause. This Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, shall be the supreme law of the land. So a nullifying state holds that the law in question is unconstitutional and not in pursuance thereof. The Supremacy Clause does not say unconstitutional laws shall be the supreme law of the land. I'd like to look at original intent. What did our founders say about this? James Wilson said, not everything expressly mentioned, everything not expressly mentioned is presumed to be purposefully omitted. Samuel Johnson said, Congress cannot assume any powers than those express given them without a palpable violation of the Constitution. The powers of Congress are defined, 26 to be precise, and clearly laid down so far as they may go, but no farther. Charles Pinckney said, the federal government cannot execute or assume any powers except those that were expressly delegated, 26 to be precise. Roger Sherman said, the powers vested in the federal government are particularly defined, 26 to be exact, so that each state still retains its sovereignty and a right to exercise every power of a sovereign state. So what is to be done when government violates the Constitution? Joseph Desha succinctly answers, it is believed to be the duty of the state governments to protect themselves from the encroachments of the federal government by refusing obedience to unconstitutional mandates. Wait, is nullification what they really wanted? Or have I just given you a select few quotes that support my thinking? Let's see. Article 6 of the Constitution says, and the laws of the United States, the Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, shall be the supreme law of the land. Federalist 78 says, all acts contrary to the manifest tenor of the Constitution are void. Some people think that states have no right to resist federal encroachments. They think the Supreme Court is the umpire to decide between states and feds. States, John Taylor said, the states never could have committed an act of such egregious folly as to agree that their umpire should be altogether appointed and paid by the other party. Here is more support for nullification. Thomas Jefferson wrote in the Kentucky Resolutions, resolved that the states are not united on the principle of unlimited submission to their general government, meaning federal government. They delegated to that government certain definite powers, 26 to be precise. And that whensoever the general government assumes undelegated powers, its acts are unauthoritative, void, and of no force. He continues that the general government, or the federal government, is the exclusive judge of the extent of the powers delegated to it, stop nothing short of despotism. Nullification by those states is the rightful remedy. U.S. Senator Timothy Pickering justified nullification when he stated, how are the powers reserved to the state respectively or to the people to be maintained, but by the respective states judging for themselves and putting their negative on the usurpations of the general government? Massachusetts legislature condemned usurpation when they wrote, we spurn the idea that the free, sovereign, and independent state of Massachusetts is reduced to a mere municipal corporation without power to protect its people and to defend them from oppression from whatever quarter it comes. Whenever the national compact or constitution is violated and the citizens of this state are oppressed by cruel and unauthorized laws, this legislature is bound to interpose its power and wrest from the oppressor its victim. New Hampshire writes in their Bill of Rights, "We live under a constitution which teaches us that the doctrine of non-resistance against arbitrary power and oppression is absurd, slavish, and destructive of the good and happiness of mankind." So it is beyond debate that unconstitutional laws are null and void. Wait, has it ever been done before? Why, yes. As of March 2010, 3 states have introduced legislation called Sheriff's First, making it a crime for any federal agent to make an arrest, search, or seizure within the state without getting advance written permission of the sheriff of the county in which the event will take place. As of June 2014, 24 states permit the use of medical cannabis, even though it's a federal crime. In 2013, one of the most strongly worded Second Amendment protection acts in the nation was signed into law in Kansas. It reads in part, "Any act, law, treaty, order, rule, or regulation of the government of the United States which violates the Second Amendment of the Constitution of the United States is null, void, and unenforceable in the state of Kansas." Kansas Governor Sam Brownback told Barack Obama, "Bring it on." As of today, 12 states have introduced legislation to fully nullify or refuse compliance with Obamacare. They read in part, "Hereby, Obamacare is hereby declared to be invalid, shall not be recognized, is specifically rejected, and shall be considered null and void and of no effect." So yes, it has been done before. So what is nullification? The states established a federal government with 26 powers and reserved for themselves all the innumerable powers you can think of beyond that. Any measures the federal government should take beyond those 26 powers delegated to it are absolutely void. So we have seen that nullification is not only legal, but promoted by our founders. It is our responsibility and our right and our privilege to practice nullification.